student at home. My name is Phoebe Sukayayi, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Welcome to our program, Radio Television Program E-Learning. During this period of staying at home because of coronavirus, it is expected that we'll be able to reach out to you so that you'll be able to understand that learning has no stopping space. Because of this program, throughout this period, we will be reaching out to you using all our various subjects to ensure that you learn something within this period. Bearing in mind that immediately after this crisis, you will be launching into writing your exams. We want you to come out with good grades, and therefore it is expected that you pay absolute attention. Your teachers will always be on air. Pay attention. Get down all your questions where you have gray areas and reach out to them based on your various subjects. Your teachers on air will give you their names, their telephone numbers that you can always reach out to them and ask the various questions that you need clarifications, so that subsequently you will be able to get clarity on where you have problems. Kaduna State Government, under the able leadership of Malam Ahmed El-Rufai, is doing everything possible to ensure that our students continue with their lessons no matter the circumstances. On this, I will request all of you and your parents, your guardians, your neighbors, your friends to pay attention to all the various segments that will be rolling out to you through these programs. Thank you very much and happy viewing.
Welcome, students. My name is Sherifat Abubakar. We are in Agricultural Science class. Today's topic is plant nutrients. Plant nutrients. We are going to look at the following areas. Under this topic, the definitions, types of nutrients, factors influencing nutrient availability in the soil, method of replenishing soil nutrients. Definition. Plant nutrients are nutrients or chemical elements obtained from the soil by plants for good growth and development of crop. Nutrients are important for the same reason that animals need them. Nutrients are important for germination of crop, of seeds, for growth, and also to fight off diseases of plants. There are two types of plant nutrients. One, macronutrients, and two, micronutrients. Macronutrients, these are nutrients or elements that are required by crop in large quantity. An example of such nutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, potassium, and oxygen. They are also referred to as major nutrients. Let's say, for instance, nitrogen. Nitrogen is very vital to the growth and development of crop, and their absence is also felt in the soil, like the leaves turning yellowish in color and the plant having stunted growth. Micronutrients. Micronutrients are nutrients or elements that are required by crop in small quantity. Examples are copper, boron, and zinc. They are also referred to as minor nutrients. Their absence in the soil can also be felt by retarded growth and also loss of, premature fruit drop. Factors influencing nutrient availability in the soil. These factors include the following. Crop removal. When crops are harvested, the nutrients contained in the plants are removed and never return to the soil. Rapid removal of such soil by continuous cropping leads to reduction in the nutrient and also lead to low yield and low income to the farmer. Also, farmer standard of living are also reduced. Secondly, leaching. Leaching is the removal of nutrients from the topsoil to the inner parts of the soil beyond the reach of the plant roots. When plant is when there is heavy or excessive rainfall, some nutrients are washed down into the soil beyond the reach of plant roots. Accumulation of magnesium, aluminum, and hydroxide ion lead to acidic soil, which become toxic to the plant. And also it leads to loss of calcium and magnesium in the soil, which in turn leads to low growth of the plant and also low yield to the farmer. Bush burning. Bush burning is when bush is set on fire, it burns the organic matter content of the soil, thereby reducing the amount of nutrients in the soil. Some microorganisms are also being destroyed in the process of bush burning. It destroys the soil structure and also destroys most of the essential nutrients that are necessary for the growth and development of the crop. Erosion. Erosion is the washing away of the topsoil by heavy rainfall. Topsoil can be blown away by wind, resulting in nutrient reduction in the soil. Some of the nutrients that are very essential for the growth and development of the crop are being washed away in the process of erosion. And this leads to low growth and also low yield to the farmer, which in turn results in low income of the farmer. Concentration of other nutrients. High concentration of certain elements may prevent the absorption of elements. Elements like nitrogen and phosphorus, when they are in high concentration, result in non-availability of this potassium and make them not to be available to the plant, which leads to low growth and also loss of income to the farmer. Method of replenishing lost nutrients. This method includes the following. That is, the nutrient that has been lost in the soil can be restored back into the soil by following ways. First, we have crop rotation. Crop rotation is the planting of different crops on the same piece of land in a definite sequence. Crop rotation is a practice whereby different crops are planted on the same piece of land. The layout of a 3-year crop rotation plan is shown in the table below, using yam, cassava, cowpea, and maize. In the first year, on the piece of land is divided into 4 plots, and different crops is being planted in each of these plots. In the first year, we have yam being planted on the first plot. Cowpea is being planted on the second plot, while cassava is planted on the third plot, while maize is planted on the fourth plot. That's for the first year. In the second year, this crop is going to be changed because that is crop rotation. That is changing of crops in different years. So for the second year, cowpea is going to be planted on the first plot, while cassava on the second plot, maize on the third plot, while yam will be planted on the fourth plot. In the third year now, we're going to have cassava being planted on the first plot, maize planted on the second plot, yam planted on the third plot, while cowpea is planted on the fourth plot. fertility of the soil. This crop rotation plan, there are certain principles that must be followed. 1, cassava and yam, they are deep-rooted crops and they must not follow one another, because these crops are going to obtain nutrients from the same level. Secondly, maize and cowpea should not also follow themselves, because they are also going to obtain nutrients from the same level. Then crop of the same type of diseases cannot also be planted together, because it helps. That is one of the aim of crop rotation. It helps to control erosion. With this crop rotation plan, it helps to restore back the lost nutrients from the soil back to the soil. Then it also helps in controlling erosion and also helps to control diseases and pests. Secondly, organic manuring. Organic manuring involves the application of organic manure to the soil in order to improve the fertility of the soil. There are also decayed plants and animal products which have been carefully prepared to supply nutrients to the plants. There are three types of this manure. We have green manure, farmyard manure, and compost manure. Green manure are formed from the leguminous crop and other fresh plants that has been plowed into the soil. Other types of freshly crops can also be plowed into the soil, like the plant remains. After you must have harvested your crop, the remains of the crop can also be cut and plowed into the soil. Secondly, farmyard manure. These are animal waste such as animal dung or feces, urine, and poultry droppings. This can be added to the soil in order to maintain or to improve the fertility of the soil. Compost manure. These are formed from the decomposition of plant and animal remains in heaps or pits before the residue is applied to the soil. Then we have cover cropping. Cover cropping is a process of planting certain plants mainly to cover up the soil, to soil surface, thereby nutrients are conserved in the soil. Some crops that can be used as cover crops are cowpea and granules. These cover crops they have a large size of leaves. Their sizes helps in cover up the soil in order to prevent evaporation of nutrients from the soil into the atmosphere. Inorganic manuring or inorganic fertilizers. These are chemical substances in form of powder, granules, or pellets, which can be added to the soil to increase its fertility. There are two types of this fertilizer. We have simple fertilizer, which we have its example as urea. Then we have compound fertilizer. This compound fertilizer helps to boost the fertility of the soil. An example of such fertilizer is NPK 1515, which can be applied to a maize plant. Bush fallowing. Bush fallowing is a practice in which farmland are left to lie fallow after 1 or 2 years of cultivation. Farmers leave a certain piece of land for another one after continuous cropping on the land in order for the land to regain its nutrients and also to boost agricultural production and to increase farmers' income. My dear students, from the topic so far, we are able to see the definition of plant nutrients. Plant nutrients are nutrients or chemical elements that are obtained from the soil for good growth and healthy development of crops. Then we have seen the types of plant nutrients as macronutrients and micronutrients. And I said macronutrients are nutrients or elements that are required by plants in large quantity or large amounts, which examples are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen, and calcium. Then we have also seen the second type as micronutrients. These are nutrients or elements that are required by plants in small quantity. And examples are copper, boron, molybdenum, and zinc. And we said they can also be referred to as minor nutrients or minor elements. Then we have also seen factors influencing nutrient availability in the soil. We said, what are those factors that makes this nutrient not to be available to our crop? First, we said crop removal, which is the harvest of crop continuously from the soil that makes these plants to be lost and also reduce the growth of our crop, which in turn leads to loss in agricultural production and also low income to the farmer. Leaching, we said, is the removal of nutrients from the soil beyond the reach of plants' roots. Also bush burning, we said when bush is set on fire, certain elements that are required for growth and development of crop are being lost, like nitrogen, phosphorus, and also it destroys the microorganisms like bacteria, virus, and fungi that are responsible for the growth and development of crop. Then leaching, erosion. We said erosion is the washing away of the topsoil by heavy rainfall, which leads to reduction in the nutrients in the soil. And when crops are being grown on such soil, it leads to low growth and also low income to the farmer. Then concentration of other nutrients. When concentration of certain elements are high in the soil, it leads to non-availability of some nutrients. Example, like phosphorus and nitrogen, when they are in high concentration, they lead to non-availability of potassium in the soil, which results in low growth and low income to the farmer. We have also seen method of restoring lost nutrients in the soil. All these nutrients that have been lost can also be restored back by the following method. We mentioned crop rotation system, we mentioned organic manuring, inorganic manuring, cover cropping, and also bush fallowing that helps to improve the fertility of the soil and also to boost agricultural production. We have come to the end of today's lesson, my students, and before I will go, I have assignments for you. 1, state 4 reasons why bush burning should be discouraged. 2, explain briefly bush fallowing as a method of replenishing lost nutrients. You can forward your assignments, and if you have any question, you can also forward it to this line, 080-6829-3928. I repeat, 080-6829-3928. Thank you.